Good evening, Year 12 parents. Thank you for firstly choosing St Bonaventures, and thank you for choosing to watch this video. I will be handing over to my fantastic team, and they'll be talking through their roles and their role in supporting your son or daughter to the end of Year 13 and beyond. The purpose of this video is to help your children through navigating Year 12 and Year 13. We're hopefully going to give you some tips, some of which you may know already, hopefully lots of which you haven't. So really, for me, it's about an introduction to the sixth form. I'm Wayne Templeman, Director of Sixth Form. And first of all, the main thing to navigate is level 3 study. It is very much the highest school level study, whether it's A levels or whether it's an extended diploma course, a BTEC, and they are a great stepping stone to the top universities, any sort of level 4, level 5 courses, beyond higher apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, and employment pathways. So firstly, the difference between A levels and BTECs in terms of UCAS points and status. There's nothing at all. A distinction in a BTEC is exactly the same as an A grade at A level, and a distinction star in BTEC is the same as an A star at A level. So universities see them as exactly equal in terms of parity. They are assessed differently, however. The new reformed A levels are 2-year courses, and students will take, in the main, they will take 3 main exams at the end of that 2 years in each of their subjects. So if they're doing 3 A levels, they will take 9 exams. It may vary slightly, but it will usually be 9 exams. And they'll all be done terminally, so at the end of the course, and then they will get their results based upon their performance in those examinations. That obviously can be quite a stressful scenario. Students will learn, they will be assessed throughout the 2 years, but ultimately everything they do in those exams matters at the end. So being prepared cannot be underestimated at all. And the level 3 BTECs are assessed slightly differently. There are usually 4 main examinations, which they'll take normally 2 in Year 12, 2 in Year 13, and then there will be a series of coursework units which will need to be completed and drafted to a high standard and will be moderated as well in most cases. So for some students, they will prefer that style of learning. They'll prefer to be able to get some of their marks in the bank, so to speak, for the end of their course. So for our BTEC learners, by January, they will already have marks that contribute towards their end grade. As I've said, the A-level learners will only accrue grades based upon their performance in the examinations at the end. So why are students choosing these? And, that's a really, really good question. And, every student might have different answers to it. But for me, the main reasons why our students choose these courses is to improve life chances, and, to have a future and some security in what is an uncertain world and increasingly uncertain with everything that's going on at the moment. So it's a safe place to be in sixth form. It's a safe place to be in education. And yes, it's a difficult time, but at the moment I feel that it still remains a safe place to be. And, one where students will feel like they are investing in themselves and able to secure, things like future earning potential, having a job or career which is enjoyable and rewarding and allows them to make a difference in the world, which, most of our students really want to do. These are great reasons to take on further education, but there are always some students in Year 12, particularly at the start of Year 12, who don't know what they want to do. And, I'm here to say that at the moment, that is absolutely fine. It's fine all the way through Year 12 to not know what you want to do. It's fine in Year 13. Obviously, when it comes to applying for progression pathways out of sixth form, it's then when, that those sort of decisions need to be made and, choices need to be narrowed down and decisions, etc. But you can help your son or daughter by, helping them keep the vision. And, I know that relationship is difficult in some cases. Sometimes there is, a situation where a parent will want something that maybe a student doesn't want. That can often be tricky to navigate. And for me, it's tricky as well, because obviously I want to support families, I want to support students, and realize that, sometimes that relationship can be tricky. But ultimately, my advice always is the same, and it is do what you love and do what you're best at. And if students are on the courses that they've performed well at GCSE, then that's great. If they're doing subjects that they really love, then they're going to do well. There's a balance between academic and practical in sixth form. And obviously students, a lot is going to be asked of them. Level 3 courses are incredibly difficult. And, hopefully by now, at the start of October, your sons and daughters are coming home and they're saying that they've got a lot of work, that they're finding it challenging, but hopefully they are still very much enjoying their courses and are able to meet those challenges at this point. Being an academic means that you're taking higher education, a higher standard of education. So they will be accumulating a lot of new knowledge at this time. So they'll be learning lots of things. And if they haven't got the strategies in place at the start to revise effectively, to consolidate their learning, then particularly for the A-level learners, if they're not doing that now, then it can become more difficult as time goes on. Just as a piece of advice, practically to parents, if the students are coming home and saying they need a PC or they need a mobile phone or in most cases they don't. In some cases they will. If they're drafting a piece of coursework, obviously, that is something they're going to do on a PC using one of the Google Docs or whatever. But in many cases, our students work from books. They will make notes in lessons. They will have resources. They will have paper resources, online resources. And their job is to make sure that, their books, their folders, their revision notes, their flashcards, whatever it is that they're producing, are up to standard, and that they're doing them from the very beginning. I said to students this week in year 12, in their study sessions, they're in week 3 or week 4, they should be revising content from week 1. And that should be something that they are systematically doing to consolidate their learning. Especially now, in terms of we haven't got, a hugely extended day. Study isn't open until 5 o'clock as it hopefully will be towards examination time. We teach the how. And so lesson time is very, very precious. So I can't impress upon you enough how important it is that students are in school, in their lessons, because that teacher contact time is incredibly important. The teachers will explain things. They'll explain complicated things, make it make sense. They'll teach the how to, and they'll teach some of the what. But we do rely on students in sixth form now to go away, do the reading, do the research, come to lessons having learned something on their own. If all they do is turn up and expect the teachers to deliver everything for them, they're going to be probably about 50% short come the end of the course. So, that's a real change from GCSE to A-level and to level 3 in general. Studying in school effectively, obviously, is incredibly important. We do have study sessions. It is supervised, and the standard of the study is very, very good. And year 12 have started very well, I'm pleased to say. But study is not just completing homework tasks. It is the things that I've mentioned already. It is taking a topic, breaking it down again, understanding, what it is that you understand well, what it is you don't understand. And, for students to be active learners coming into school, seeing their teachers, being armed with questions and challenging the teachers as well to explain things again that maybe they didn't get first time or second time around. And ultimately, as I've said already, academics are experts who love learning. And that is the hope that the year 12 students, that your son, your daughter is loving what they're doing. Their heads are in their books. They're loving the topics that they're covering at the moment. And, long may that continue, because that is what ultimately breeds success. And then just sort of a bit from me on the habits and, what we found, especially during lockdown, and I'm sure you know this yourselves as parents, was that the sleep habits of teenagers can be somewhat extreme. And, there were students staying up very, very late at night. and they were struggling obviously in the mornings, or some not even getting up to the afternoons. And we definitely have seen that that students have been tired. Our advice has been to go to bed early, and when I say go to bed at 10 p.m., some of them look at me like I'm crazy, but that's what's required. If we need them in school for 8:30 every morning, ready to learn, then obviously a good early night is very, very important. Equally, the balance of things needs to be right as well. And if your son or daughter is coming home at 4 o'clock and they're working until 10 o'clock at night, and they're not taking any breaks, they're not having any nights off, then clearly that some balance needs to be found there. And I know that fun is kind of less easy to find with the restrictions in place, but certainly whether it is students are rewarding themselves with gaming or Netflix or whatever it is, that there needs to still be plenty of time for that in amongst all the hard work. Before I hand over to Ms. Corriette, I just want to say that from me, if you email sixthform@stbonds.org, we will be able to answer any of your questions, and it will be directed to the right member of the team. Thank you again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the presentation.